Hello and welcome everyone. Today's video is going to be an evening practice where we go from standing to lying down. Um, some days we're just so antsy. We spend all day doing stuff and then we try to sit down or lie down and do something calm, but it's just hard. So we're going to actually take the body from standing slowly to kneeling, sitting and lying down so that we can tell the system to wind down. Hopefully everything we do here can be accessible. If you can't stand, if you can, of course, can start in a chair. And if you like this type of content, I'd be grateful if you could subscribe and like. And we're going to get started standing. I have a blanket and some blocks if you want to use them. Props can always be nice. You can also get a chair so you can transition a little bit more. And we're just going to start swaying a little bit. I'm just standing here feeling the soles of the feet. Sometimes can also be nice. Reach up, inhale. And exhale, release. A couple more, maybe inhale. Last one, nice and loose. Good. And then maybe like to invite a few more conscious twists, shifting the weight, tapping, hopefully not hitting any furniture, maybe tapping your hips, some feedback. Good. And then slowly coming to center. Subconsciously releasing the shoulders. You can bring your hands onto your shoulders and draw some circles. Your knees can be soft. You can inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Good. If you like, you can also go the other way. Nice. Good. And then maybe a few seated cat and cows. You can use your arms if you like. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. If your arms are tight, you can also leave them down. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round. Maybe it feels nice to release through the lower back like this. If you've been standing a lot, inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good. Then we're going to come towards the wall to do some puppy poses at the wall. So you can bring the hands your head height, maybe, and then walk back a little bit. It can be closer if you like, so you can release the forehead, or maybe it just feels nice to just lengthen here through the armpits. You can play around with the tilt of the pelvis, rounding a bit more, opening. And if you feel like you're stuck here in the shoulders, you can move away a little bit, wrap the elbow creases towards and up, then only open as much as your shoulders allow today. Good. Feeling the length through the armpits. Head can be nice and relaxed. Another breath in. And breath out. Good. And again, press. Release the arms. And just notice for a moment blood coming back into the arms. Good. And then we're going to basically do a downward facing dog at the wall. So the hip bend is going to be a little bit bigger. Hands roughly at the height of the hips. And then you can walk back. And no need to fully straighten the legs. If they want to be soft, they can be soft. And we're going for length through the spine. I'm starting to send my legs back a little bit. Again, the knees can be soft. And you might feel a lot through the shoulders. You might feel a lot through the backs of the legs. You feel good. You can also start to lengthen. You can also stay soft. You can also keep it softer by walking the hands up so that the opening or the bend or hinge in your hips is not that big. Find a position where you feel spaciousness and freedom, as opposed to feeling like you're imprisoning yourself through the shape. Good. Take another deep breath in. Breath out. Good. And then we're going to walk back to the wall. Nice and easy. Coming back to upright. Relaxing through the arms. Good. We're just going to tune into the strength of the legs for just a moment. So we're going to lean against the wall. Bend the knees. And just feeling the legs here for a moment. If you want to place a block between the legs, you can do that. We're not trying to tire ourselves out. We're not trying to make our legs super strong. We're just trying to feel into the legs for a moment. Just noticing that they've worked a lot today. Coming back into a sense of stability, symmetry. There's support through the wall. There's support through the floor. If you have a block between the legs, you even have support through there. I'm starting to feel that you can lean into support, whatever it is, like floor, the wall behind you. You don't have to hold everything. Good. Another breath in. And breath out. Wonderful. And then you can slowly shift the weight forward. You can get rid of the block. Use your hands to come up. And then just for a moment again, releasing. Good. And then we're going to do a few easy forward folds. Folding all the way down is not an option. You can always fold onto a chair. You can have blocks in front of you. But we're not trying to go for a shape here. So I suggest you just start to bend the release through the head and start to fold forward. You can soften the knees. Your position might look very different. I'm just noticing I'm wearing a trampoline socks. Good. And letting the head go. Maybe shaking a little bit side to side. And maybe it feels nice to go up and down a few times to release through the back of the body. If you want to stay down, you can stay down. See if movement serves you, if stillness serves you. Good. Nice. And then I suggest coming into a squat for a moment. So you can either squat here. If your knees don't like to squat, you can be on a chair and widen the knees a little bit. You can sit up on one block, 2 blocks. Or again, if you liked being at the wall, you can also squat at the wall. And so wherever you are, just allowing the insides of the legs to widen. You can either lean or come forward. If your heels are not fully on the ground, you can always place a blanket underneath. But for today, if they're slightly lifted, not a problem. We're just trying to ground a little bit more. Just noticing that you're closer to the ground now as opposed to when we were standing. Floor is closer to your face, to your eyes, to your senses. And then from here, however you feel comfortable, starting to come onto hands and knees. I'm going to turn around again. Just for the camera, you can stay facing wherever you were facing. And now just noticing that your now hands and knees are on the ground. And you can start to move in ways that feel nice and inviting. Maybe it's some hip circles. If you need a blanket underneath the knees, go ahead. Maybe it's a few cat and cow that serve you. Maybe it feels nice to look over one shoulder and then the other, creating more space to the side of the body. Good. And then I suggest we bring the knees a little bit wider so we can thread the right arm under to come in to thread the needle. If the floor feels too far away, as always, you can place a block, something underneath the side of your head, and the left hand goes anywhere where you feel supportive. The wider your knees are, the closer you are to the ground. Oh, and just breathing into the shoulders, into the twist. And then that's it. We'll slowly come up, go to the other side. I'm going to keep the block here. Right hand presses into the ground so that we can slide the left arm through. Again, just feeling into the spine. Allowing the head to rest on the floor, on the prop. Feeling the pull of gravity. Then we'll slowly come back up. And getting the block out of the way. And we'll move the sits bones back towards the heels. Getting even closer to the ground. Into a child's pose. Can be a child's pose of your variation. I like having a block underneath my forehead. This allows my sits bones to be heavier. If I don't have anything, I feel like I'm sort of coming forward and my bum lifts up. So I'm going to find a sense of settling, grounding through the tailbone. The arms are anywhere where you feel comfortable. Allowing the breath to move into the back body. Bit by bit getting closer to the floor. Nice. And then I feel we're ready to actually move down to the floor through the sits bones. So that means I'm going to ground my bum. However you like to kick the legs forward. And I suggest we'll do one forward fold. I'm going to sit up on something. You can also be against the wall. And I propose we go into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, but you can bend the knees and just round the spine, hold on to the backs of the legs, and allow your head to hang. So this might be your forward fold. If you feel like extending the legs a bit more, you can do that. If you can slide the legs on some sort of wooden floor, tiles or whatever, you can slide them out. But again, it's not about deeply stretching. And just feeling the sits bones on the ground. Not kneeling anymore. We're seated. And creating space to the lower back. Good. And one more deep breath in. And breath out. Good. And let's slowly come up. And let's cross our legs. Again, you can sit up on something. And let's take an easy twist to the left. Also just to release the spine after folding forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting to the other side. And then we'll change the cross of the legs and then we'll take it into a side bend. Nice and easy. Just across of all directions. Off the spine. This top arm feels heavy. You can keep it on your hips as well. Inhale, center. And exhale over to the other side. Good. And then center. And then you can get rid of your blanket. And then we'll slowly get ready to lie onto our backs. I'm gonna turn around again so I have room. And without my head being cut off, you can come onto your back. I'm gonna start with the knees bent. And just noticing the fact that you're now lying down. Feet still on the ground. And maybe start to yawn like I do. Starting to press into the feet. And just explore how the pelvis wants to move here. There's some wiggles here to massage the lower back. And when I press into the feet, I feel like my hips lift up. And when I feel like pulling my heels in towards my butt, my spine arches. So you can just play around with pressing the feet forward, pulling the feet back. Maybe your movement looks different from mine. And then we'll also widen the feet to the width of the mat. Windshield wiper, side to side. I like to inhale center. Exhale one side. Inhale center. Exhale to the other. Good. And if this feels nice, you can continue moving side to side here. Otherwise, you can slowly come back into center. And then we'll hug the knees in towards the chest. And then maybe it feels nice to draw some circles here from one side to another. And if you want to stay in a longer twist, you can allow both knees to go to one side and then find your easy twist here. And if this twist is too deep, you can always place a block between the knees. This will allow the other shoulder to come down a little bit more. Checking in with your body parts. Nothing needs to be held, just the bare minimum. And for today, we're also going to go slowly to the other side. With or without a block. Allowing the two sides of the twist to be different if they are. And then slowly come into center. And if you want, just the tiniest of inversions. So you can place a block underneath the hips. It can also be a pillow, folded up blanket. And it's not a big inversion. We don't have to kick up the legs. It's just the pelvis being slightly higher than the heart. There's a bit more flow coming into the head. Organs experiencing a slightly different relationship to gravity. Pelvic floor is a bit more space. You feel your breath changing a little bit. Good. So It's a very simple practice today. We're going to lift the hips, come back down, and just staying in a constructive rest for a moment. Maybe the knees are together, feet apart. If you feel ready to go to bed from here, you can do that. We're going to slowly roll off to the side and close this practice for today. If you want to stay there and take a shavasana, you can. But I hope you feel a bit more rested, a bit more regulated, now happy to be closer to the ground. Let me know if you have any questions or any requests. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a good night's sleep. Thank you.